Hey guys, welcome to another recap of American Idol. They started off the show, the second audition show, with a performance impromptu by Blake Patterson. He's not going to Hollywood because he sucks. He did a yelly version of that song Smile. They're always trying to be sensational. Alright, so they're in New Orleans, or if y'all want to call it Nolans. They started off the real auditions with Dorsey. He's a 21-year-old piano and vocal teacher, and he said he was going to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Alright, so when you pull that song out of the bag, you either have got it down or you're going to totally suck. So I could have gone either way with him. But he pulled out this jazzy version, and it was really good. So it's a yes, kid. Sarah Sellers was up next. She had herself some big Steven Tyler lips. And she pulled out a soulful version of her song. And Steven, you really need to stop the sexual harassment, because talk about a casting couch. It's making everyone uncomfortable. So please, just stop. You know, it's like, oh, you try dressing a little more sexy, it's your job. No, it's sexual harassment, plain and simple. And if it was on any other show, you'd be fired. So it was a yes for her. Next up, Jovanny Baretto. He thinks J-Lo is a goddess and that she really needs to see him with his shirt off. His singing was okay. He laid on the whole, oh, J-Lo, you're my dream, so just a little bit too damn thick. And he ended up taking his shirt off after they told him he was going to Hollywood, and Randy joined in and Steven joined in. Steven was okay, but Randy, when are you due? Alright, Jacquelyn Dupree was up next. She brought in some high school pictures of Randy because her uncle was Randy's football coach. Way to have an in. I mean, if you sucked and like your uncle was his high school coach, or if you were like borderline, which you may have been, there was probably a good chance that they were going to put you through just because you knew him. So that was a little hookup there. And yeah, she ended up making it through. Alright, one of my favorites of the night, Bret Loewrenstern, was up next. Unless my gaydar is not correct, he's a gay kid that's been bullied. I mean, what gay kid hasn't been bullied? This kid's 16. When he stepped into the audition room, he was all starstruck and goofy and everything, but then he said he was going to sing Bohemian Rhapsody. And that is like the #1 song that you don't sing, and you don't have any business singing unless you can really pull it out. So I was like, what? And then he sang it, and then I was like, what? It was really good. For him. I mean, he doesn't have the voice of Freddie Mercury, but his take on it was very good. So yeah, he made it through. Gabriel Franks was up next. He kind of looked like a zitty Mick Jagger. And he said he was going to sing Bad Romance. And that's one of my favorite Lady Gaga songs ever. So I really didn't think he had a bad voice, but he was kind of crazy, and I think that that really put the judges off. So if he hadn't been like all goofy and crazy, they probably would have put him through, honestly. Alright, then they had a little montage, which they have every show. You know, sometimes several montages, but this one was to prove that there is no shortage of freaks, publicity seekers, and delusional monsters. Yeah. Alright, Alex Attardo, speaking of delusional monsters, was up next. He went to Idol Camp, okay, when he was 15 years old, and he was very happy at the results. So he said he was going to sing Proud Mary. They need to give him his money back because I don't think he learned anything at Idol Camp. I think it's a ripoff. It was a no for him. Jacee Badeaux up next. He's 15 years old, and he kind of looked like a chubby Justin Bieber. He kind of sounded like a chubby Justin Bieber, too. They were all gushing over him, I guess because he was 15, and it was kind of like that time on the X Factor when they had that opera singer, the guy, and he looked kind of, so you wouldn't expect like a beautiful opera voice to come out of him. So they put this kid through because everybody loves an underdog. You know, you wouldn't expect that voice to come out of that kid. So it was a yes. Paris Tassin rounded out the Nolans auditions. She was a teen mom, and she had her baby, and they told her that something was going to be wrong with it when she was pregnant, so she decided to have it anyway, and her baby had hydrocephalus, and I think her baby is partially deaf or hearing impaired. So she's a special needs mom. So it is a fantastic tearjerker story. Everybody loves a story like this because they want to root for her. And it didn't hurt that she had a pretty great voice too. So, you know, she's got two things going for her right there. J-Lo cried a river. Now I got some words of advice for J-Lo. Honey, you need to toughen up because there's no crying in judging. You know, you just can't let yourself get emotionally involved because it's just not fair. But, you know, that's part of the show, I guess, because it's the dream. All right, so next time, which means next week, they will be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And some of the clips that they showed look downright scary. So I can't wait till then. Till next week, much love.